Hennie, you have a very powerful story of facing what you have called your biggest giant. Would you please share with us something about your life story? Um, you can share just what you're comfortable in sharing with our listeners, but we would really love to hear something about your story.
Uh, yeah, the story that you are referring to, it is actually a story where I enjoyed alcohol a little bit too much. I wouldn't say that I was completely addicted to it, but it was a challenge in my life where I really believed that that is taking away from me as a person. But it took a time to actually realize what alcohol was doing to me and to my life. Now, I was going through a lot in my school years. People will tell you that I didn't use alcohol up until the age of, or up until my matric year. I have never used alcohol, but then something dramatically happened in my life during my matric year. First of all, my mum and my dad went through a divorce, which accumulated to pressure. And my dad also got diagnosed with a heart disease. And in a moment there, I found comfort in a release that was with friends and with alcohol. So that is where everything kick-started. And for about 5 years after that, let's say from 18 or 17 and a half to about 23, alcohol was a part of my life. And it was during that time as well when my father passed. And when he passed, it was really an anchor in my life that went missing from zero, from euro to zero. And it was a coping mechanism for me. Now, was it the right coping mechanism? Definitely not. But because I used that as a coping mechanism, I didn't realize what it was actually doing to people around me. And then my son got born in 2006. Sorry, I said up until 2003. 2003 wasn't the time that I stopped. Sorry. And that is what was when I got married. So my wife might throw me with something. Luckily, she's not here. But in 2006, my first son got born, and I knew that there was changes that I needed to make. And that is when I decided, you know what, this is actually not good for me. And it all happened when we went onto a trip to Mozambique. And while I made my wife a promise back then, and I said, you know what, we're not going to, or I'm not going to drink while we're in Mozambique. And the very first night, I partied with the boys and I got really drunk. And the next morning, I was feeling so guilty because I made a promise and I broke that promise. And we went out deep sea fishing. And I'm not somebody that gets sick going out in the sea. And that day, I got so sick. And in a moment, I realized, you know what? What are you busy doing? Here you are in the middle of the ocean. What happens to you if you have to lay your life down today? What is people going to say about you? Who were you as a person? Are you proud of the person that you are in this moment? And I wasn't. So when we got back from Mozambique, I started the journey. I went to a friend's house, and that friend Dewald, up until today, I will never forget that. As I went into his study, he said to me, friend, I've got a feeling I've got to pray for you for something. What is it that I can pray for you for? And I said to him, I think I'm okay. And he said, have you given your heart to Jesus? I said, yes, I have. He says, but I've got a feeling that I should pray for you for something. And I said, you know what? I want to stop drinking completely. And he prayed for me, and it was literally that there was like a bag of cement lifting off my shoulders in a moment. And from that moment on, I knew I was free from the addiction of alcohol. But there was also a lot of realizations that happened along the way. I mean, I was sick and tired of being the party animal. I was sick and tired of trying to please people. I was sick and tired of not being who I believed I could be. So all of that came as a choice, and it was a accumulation of a lot of things coming together in that stage. But it was in a moment that I was set free from alcohol, and up until today, I've never touched alcohol again, and that is now 13 plus years ongoing. No, 14. Yeah, 2006.
I think it's
yeah, it's almost 14 years.
Was it not 2007?
Yeah, 2007. Yes, you're correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 13 years.
So it is 13 years. Yeah.
It's 13 an incredible achievement.
Yeah.
So you said that, sorry, Hennie, you said that you were set free and your friend prayed for you. So from there on, was it an easy road for you to not take up that alcohol again?
No, I think this is where a lot of misconception happens, is to think that things are easy after that, because you must remember, you come from a world where people are used to you being the party animal, used to you, the guy that's initiating, listen, let's go for a drink. And suddenly you've got to withdraw from all of that and say, you know what, from now on, I've got to make decisions that's the best for me. Obviously, I mean, at the first party of my, back then, my firstborn, when he turned a year, I will never forget. I stopped drinking back then for almost, I would say it was almost 6 months already. And the one friend brought alcohol to the birthday party, and he said to me, just have a drink with us. This is not who you are. And I said, no, that is a decision that I've made. I've stopped this completely. So there was always these temptations coming in, but I knew, you know what, I was free from it. So, but even when you know that you are free from stuff, you still got to make the choice. I'm not going to go back there. And for me, one drink would lead to another, I never drank because I enjoyed it. I drank because I wanted to get drunk. It is as easy as that, because there was a certain freedom when I was drunk, which I believed there was freedom. There wasn't real freedom because nothing, actually, it just added pressure.